What's up, Headless Horde? Welcome back. Sunday, we got to talk about SDCC. We'll talk a little bit about Fun Days. I actually just got done editing that video for Fun Days that'll be dropping on Tuesday. It was a fun one to make. It was absolutely crazy. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, man. Let's. I want to talk about SDCC tonight. I'm a little congested still. I'm not sure what's going on. SDCC. So it was a weird year. Obviously, we had the writer's strike, and we also had the actors. So it was a little bit strange to be there. You didn't really get to see as many people as you normally would, especially in panels, obviously. I know Jamie Lee Curtis was there. That was a big draw, but she was kind of promoting her own comic. Cosmo was there, the dog that plays Cosmo in the Guardians of the Galaxy. That's a funny story. I mentioned a little bit of this on Thursday, but I actually sent away on eBay to buy the flocked version of the Pop, because it said that he was going to do an autograph signing. So what I did is I sent away. I got it shipped to the hotel. Unfortunately, it didn't make it on time, so I just returned it. But originally, it says he was going to do autographs. So right away, I'm like, man, they had like an invisible ink pad, and the dog would like put his paw on it and like stamp the front of the Pop. I thought that would have been kind of cool, but I ended up sending Lady Stoneheart over to that Marvel booth where this was happening, and they basically said the dog was going to be there, just kind of sitting there, and it was basically just like a paw print on a poster. So, no harm, no foul on that. My idea was much better than that, but that was kind of cool. But I mean, honestly, not a whole lot of. We had some voice actors. $7 a pop. Had a ton of voice actors. Actually, a guy from Walking Dead was there. Ross, I can't remember his last name now, but he was there. Who does he play? I know he plays Stonekeeper in Infinity War. I'm trying to remember what his name is now. In Walking Dead, he's the dude with the knife as a hand. Totally drawing a blank on that, but. So he was there, I saw him, Ashley Eckstein, a couple other voice actors. A big draw there was they dropped that Funko did. They dropped their the Fairy Godparents 3-pack, and they had the one of the voice actors for that there. So I know a lot of people are getting that Pop signed. But yeah, I mean. So yeah, it was, like I said, it was a weird year just because of the fact that there weren't a lot of actors. Usually you'll see some walking around or driving in their cars, or a lot of people like to hang out at the Hard Rock because that's mostly where the stars stay. That's why it's so hard to get a hotel room there, because they actually have like a fence or a gate, and you have to kind of stand behind that because when the cars pull up, they don't want people rushing them. So there's like actually like a gate that you have to stand behind, but you can hang out there all day long if you want. Yeah, I know some people do that, and there was not many people there at all. And it is, the other thing is too, it's really hard to get a downtown hotel in San Diego, typically. But with like when the strike happened, it was about a week before the con, and it's amazing how many hotels opened up. Like almost all of them had openings. So yeah, I mean that part was a little disappointing, but it was still fun. This is the first year that I did not go to any panels. I just didn't see anything interesting, and there was a couple, like there was one for Hasbro Star Wars, like new releases and stuff. But honestly, like I mean, I know they probably announced the HasLab this year, or the new HasLab for Star Wars is the Ghost from the Ahsoka series. So right now, I checked it yesterday. I think they're at like 9,600 backers. In the next tier doesn't unlock until I think 11,000. I'm going to bring that up actually. Now I'm curious. Yeah, let's see here. So here's the new HasLab. So 95.89. So that's about where it was yesterday. Probably a few extra. I have not bought it yet because I actually have it in my cart. I'm kind of waiting. I mean, I'm probably going to end up getting this thing. But the problem is that like I want all the tiers. So like if you look over here, so it comes with Hera. So it comes with Hera. It's carded. And then it also comes with Phantom 2, which is like the little ship that comes off of Ghost that they use to like go down to the surface of planets or whatever. So if you look at the background, so look at Hera. So if we go back to her card, you can kind of see this. And she's on the, well, left as we're looking at it. So it's like right here. Now when I go down, you can see there's Ezra. So they got 11,000 backers. So I'm sure they'll get there for that one. I mean, when they did Razor Crest, it was like 700, and I think they unlocked all the tiers. 11,000. So we need about what 1,400 and change to get over here, and then Canaan is 14,000. So you can kind of see again the background. So the idea is that you would put them, you could put all the cards next to each other, and it would kind of look like this. Even though you can kind of see it's a little bit different because Kanan is in the back. You don't really see his whole body, but you get the idea. You get the face mask, 2 different faces. And then at 17,000, then you get Zeb. And it's funny because that's all they have listed, but I know Sabine and Chopper were on this. So maybe all I can think of is that after they hit these tiers, they'll add the other ones because I know they announced it. I'm pretty sure it was Sabine, and then also I thought it was Chopper too. I mean, that's the whole Ghost crew. I mean, you think they would have Ahsoka, but it's probably going to just be these right here. You know, the main 6. So I don't know. I mean, it's a lot of money, but it is pretty cool. It would go awesome with the Razor Crest, I think. Just cuts this in different pictures here. I love how they do open up like that. Razor Crest opens up, but it's a little tight. So, anyways, so that was one of the panels that was going to go to. It just never happened to make it over there. Let me say hey to the chat really quick. Kind of been rambling for 10 minutes. Anthony Blaze, what's going on, brother? What's up, Poppin'? How you doing, brother? Mark Schaefer's in the house. What's up, Jeremy? So yeah, the panels and the as far as the actors go, it was a little bit underwhelming. Some of the good stuff. So there were, to me, there were a lot of exclusives this year. A lot. Like, I mean, obviously we have Funko. So, you know, if you watched my live on Thursday, we went through all that. So Funko had some good stuff. 100 Soft had a lot of awesome pins. They had the dumpster fires. They had this one called it's like Mech, and there's like a number next to it. I ended up getting that for a friend, and so that one looked pretty cool. I don't really collect dumpster fire. I mean, kind of limit sometimes what you collect. Oh, you know what? I did open that R2D2 helmet. So this was from Gentle Giant that I have, and I do have some figures from that. Gentle Giant, they're really known as, they make like vintage Star Wars figures, and they're huge. Like, I don't even know how big. I think they're like 2 or 3 feet tall. Like, they're huge, but they're based on the vintage stuff. So I have two of those. And I think one was from 16 and one was from 18. I think it was Luke and Boba Fett. But so this year, what they did is they took the original style of R2D2, like the original toy, right? The original vintage toy from 77. And they made it 7 inches tall. It's pretty cool. It's lighter, a lot lighter than I thought it was going to be. But there it is. So you can see, I mean, it's pretty big. Let me turn this light off. Why is that one on? There you go. And then his legs do move. The middle part is, so in the old vintage toy, you could remove this, and then you could obviously have him stand. That's the only miss on this, is that they didn't make this where you can take it out. It's just stationary. But the legs do move. The head moves. So, yeah, I don't know. It's pretty cool. I have it next to my, actually my gentle giant Leia as a hologram. So I have R2 right next to her. So kind of goes together. So yeah, they did a nice job. The colors are fantastic. Just because it does remind me of that old school R2. So I did open that one. I have but chrysanthemums around here somewhere. I just haven't opened the box yet. You know, the way hasbro packages those, they do a pretty poor job. Like, there's stickers all over it. And I don't know if I want to cut it or, you know, use the hair blow dryer and just kind of like unglue it and then take it apart. I don't know. I haven't decided what I want to do with it. I just don't want to rip the box. But unfortunately, you can't see the figure without opening it all the way up, because it does. It like, it's a box like this, and you fold it and you see the figure and there's weapons and that kind of stuff. So it's a nice display piece. But I just haven't opened it yet. What else? So, I don't have my backpack on me, but I got a ton of pins. If you guys don't know, if you guys have never heard of Yesterday's, if you're a pin collector, they have some amazing pins. They had a Metroid, like Samus. Is it Samus? I think it's Samus, right? So it was like diamond, like it was like diamond glittery. It's awesome. It's just a pin, and they only charge $10 for them, which is a good deal for pins. You know, especially if they're kind of exclusive. Charles, if you watched Charles's video, I think it was yesterday, I sent him a Scarlet Witch pin, because I know he's a huge. I don't know if he's a huge fan of Scarlet Witch or just a huge fan of Elizabeth Olsen, but I sent him that. So I know he opened that on his live yesterday, or one of his premiere videos. Anthony Blaze, I've been sending him a lot of these sodas that I've picked up. I haven't really kept any, but I did pull one yesterday in the Box of Fun, or whatever day I did the Box of Fun video. I did pull the Freddy is He-Man, and I am going to keep it because I have a huge Masters of the Universe collection, so he's going to go nicely. And I actually picked up, I was really disappointed. I ordered 2 Jessica Rabbit's sodas. So I have my Roger Rabbit New York Comic Con exclusive from last year, and then I have my Judge Doom autographed by Christopher Lloyd. So I have those 2 kind of on the shelf all by itself, and I have room right next to it. So I was looking at like the pop of Jessica Rabbit, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that's, it's like $20. It's not really worth much. And then when I saw this come out, I'm like, you know what? It'd be cool to get like that diamond one. The diamond, she got like a diamond dress on. So I ordered 2 of them when we did the orders for the San Diego Comic-Con shared through funko.com. And I missed on both, unfortunately. So last night I was just sitting there and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to get it, because I was going to order like 2 or 3 more, because like, what are they, like 18 each? So I was trying to figure out how many I had to order to get the free shipping. So actually it would have had to be 4 of them. And I'm like, man, am I going to drop seriously like $70 right now? And then what if I don't get it again? I bought it. So I bought it on eBay for like $80. So I figured it was the same deal. Now I don't have to worry about it. So I just went ahead and bought it. And then I bought, I don't know if you guys have seen these. Let me see if I can find it. I just ordered this. what's the name of that website? I have it on my phone. It literally just shipped today, actually. I'm gonna show you. Comic Spot. You can find them on eBay and on Amazon as well. I don't know if you guys have seen these. And I know, Anthony, you're a big soda guy. You probably have seen this. I'm gonna find. Let's see. There, so it's a soda display. I've seen these at cons before, and I was actually looking around SDCC, and I could have swore I found them before, but they didn't have any. Let me pull it up. And they come in different colors. So I went ahead and bought one of those. So I bought the clear one for Jessica because it's very red. And I was going to get red. I just felt like it was going to blend too much. You know, so like the let's see if I can blow this up a little bit. Where is my option to blow this up? There we go. All right, so if you look at it, so the can would sit right in here, and then the token, which is in the can right now, goes in this little slot right here, and then the figure sits right in here. So it's funny because I've seen some other ones too that are 3D printed, and I don't like it because they have like, for example, this part is here, and then the figure goes behind the coin or the little disc, but like it covers the figure. Like I would rather it cover the bottom half of the can than cover the figure. So I was able to find that, and then for He-Man, I bought a light blue one. Again, I was going to go orange, but I thought it was already too much orange because of his hair and everything else. So I just bought blue to go with it. The one thing I'm a little disappointed on in this one is, okay, so you got Freddy, right? Dude, there's no power sword. How do you not put the power sword in his other hand or something? Come on, Funko, be better. No power sword. I was a little disappointed when I was looking at it. So I don't know. What do you guys think? It's still cool. It's gonna go good downstairs with my He-Man stuff, but a lot of them were advertised like that, Anthony. That you could put them in a hard stack, or you could even put them in a soft stack if you wanted to. Yeah. Well, it's good because I have a hard stack dude. So so let's check this out. Okay, so F Fun Days, right? They one of the little free things that they threw out at us were the hard stacks. Everybody gave one. This is the new one without the bottom. I think it's UV. So look at this top though. Like it's not even close. These are so terrible. Look at it, not even it. They're so bad. So bad. But I figured maybe I'll just use it for one of the sodas. I don't know. Terrible. Like, do better, Funko. It's amazing to me they charge those are what, $9 or something, and you can just get the armor shields for like what, 12 if you buy a pack of them. 12 or 15. And I know it's less than $15 if you buy the packs, but yeah, so so like that little part will go inside, and then we'll have a can up here, and he'll be in there, but it'll be on the stand and it won't fall, that kind of thing. So hopefully I'll have those this week. So yes, and they were called Pogs. So Pog would be POGS. What does Pog stand for? Pogs. Dude, I have no idea. Some type of this, or yeah, what does Pog stand for? Something soda? I don't know. Let me know. Let me think what else. So, I did pick up a couple books. I picked up the one book is actually a Twin Peaks book. Because before we went to San Diego, we went up to Seattle, and I went to like 24 or 25 different filming locations for Twin Peaks. Because I'm gonna do like a 2 or 3 part documentary on that. And one of the books I ended up finding actually was written by an author, and it was signed. I got it signed, and it's basically how he sees the third season of Twin Peaks. So, I thought that would be interesting, and I could use that as like some research for the documentary and just kind of get our people's thoughts, because it's a crazy show. Again, if you've never watched Twin Peaks, I highly recommend it. It could be cheesy. You got to remember it was the first season was 1989, but it's definitely worth the watch. You just got to stick with it, and you can always shoot me questions on Instagram if you don't understand something, because I still don't understand it. But it's a good show. And then the second book I picked up was one of the new Star Wars books, and that author was there as well. Got her to sign it, and that is the Rise of the. I think it's called Rise of the Red Blade or something like that. It's about an Inquisitor. So everything I read, everyone seems to really like the book, and they wish that this was the character that was in Obi-Wan instead of Reva. So I was kind of intrigued. I always try to pick up at least one book at Comic-Con. Last year I picked up a signed copy of Clash of Kings, the Game of Thrones one. So let me think. Anything else that I picked up? Obviously, UCC Distributing had the Marvel cards, the Funko Marvel cards. And I opened up those on Thursday. And I submitted my redeemable today. And I put all the cards in order. And it is strange. There's like 150 common, I guess if you want to call it. And out of the 24 packs I opened, I ended up pulling, I got 126 out of the 150 with 12, the cards here. I got 12 duplicates. But I'll tell you what, if you buy the full box, the 24 pack, I feel like you're going to probably get at least 1 through 100. Like I had no problem getting those. And a couple other people I've talked to that have opened them, same thing. It seems to be like numbers 101 to 150 are a little bit different. They're more like a 3D type card. And those are the ones that are kind of like harder to find. And you can obviously find them on eBay and stuff. But so I don't know what I'm going to do. I did buy a sleeve for a couple of the nicer cards that are going for a little bit more right now. And I don't know. I'm not sure if I want to collect them, or I don't know what I'm going to do with them. But anyways, at least I sent away for the redeemable. So we'll check that out when that comes. It says 12 to 16 weeks. So it's kind of like NFT, I guess. So I don't know if they make them as you go or what, but yeah, I'm trying to think. I know Bait had a couple exclusive Funkos. I didn't really go over there. It's funny. I go to every year. Never made it over there this year. I just didn't make it over there. But yeah, so I thought overall the exclusives were good. Lego, I know Lego was passing out some minifigs. I didn't get one. They were passing out the little VIP keychains. So I was able to snag a couple of those. And I sent one of those. I think I sent one of those to Charles too. We did pick up a couple exclusives from Horde Universe. I picked up an Anakin Skywalker inspired hoodie. I know my wife picked up an Ahsoka hoodie. I don't know about that. I got 2. I mean, now listen, if you want to send me Maul, we'll talk. We could talk. I probably do need that Maul, but yeah, I don't know. That's a whole other can of worms, because I feel like I need to buy those little display things for every single one of them. I don't know because I know I've seen them and I know I like them. So got to be very picky on those, Charles. Those very, very picky on those. Trying to think what else. Jazzwares had some like these like model, like it was like a model X-wing, model A-wing, and those were available on preview night. And they also had a TIE fighter. Of course, it wasn't available on preview night. You had to come the next day. And we're going to talk about Jazzwares because they need to get their shit together because that booth was a disaster. We'll talk about that. I'm trying to think what other booths I head over to. I mean, obviously, Funko had a huge area. They had the Blockbuster Rewind booth. They had, and we'll talk about that in the Funko booth a little bit because that was a little bit of a shit show too, and nobody knew about this. And I was a little bit mad, but they had the Fun in the Run box. They were usually gone by like the first hour and a half of the day, and then that booth was pretty much empty. There was a lot of exclusive artwork. I'm trying to think if I went anywhere else. I'm pretty particular with my exclusives. Cryptozoic is another big con one. They didn't have anything this year that I liked. They usually do these. They're called the Gold Goddesses. You can look it up online. Last year I bought a Harley Quinn, and they're probably about, I don't know, yay big. If you think of like a rock candy, Funko rock candy, when they used to make those, it's maybe just a little bit bigger than that, but it's kind of like what it is. Yeah, but they didn't really have anything this year. Over by the video game section, I didn't even make it over there this year. It wasn't that big though. It really wasn't. They had a lot of Final Fantasy stuff. They had Mario and stuff like that, but nothing crazy. But yeah, so exclusive. I think exclusives overall was a pretty good win for SDCC this year. Let's talk about some of these lines. So okay, the way this works, if you've never been there, so you're entering. I guess they make you go into what's called the G door. So there's different halls, right? There's A through H. Hall H is where they have this huge room, which is where like these big panels go. It holds 6,500 people. That thing didn't fill up at all the entire weekend for the most part. Nothing was in there that was worth it. They had this big director's panel that they talked about different films, but like again, no actors really came in there. And on Sunday is usually a pretty big day for Hall H. So last year they did Funko in there, and that's how all that Hall H stuff came out, like the little Freddy Funko with the Hall H bag, and the Ahsoka, which never dropped, but that's where you would have got it. All the Demogorgons that came out last year, Funko didn't do it. They I don't know why. I don't know whose decision that is. I don't know if it's Funko or the con. I'm not sure how it works, but there's really nothing in Hall H. So anyways, when you come into the con, you're coming in the next door, which is G, and you head right up to the left is an escalator. So they bring you all the way up to the top because there's 2 levels of the convention center. Basically, then you have to walk all the way around, and then you have 2 choices. If you want to head down toward like A or B or C, those halls, and that's typically going to be like where the video games are over in H, and then you also have the lot of smaller vendors are over by A, B, and C. UCC I think was right around D, between C and D, so that was probably where most people were lined up for that one. And then the other side is you come in like where G and H are, and that's where Funkoville is. That's where Artist Alley is. That was where $7 a pop was. So again, some of the bigger companies, and obviously everything else just kind of flows to the middle. So there's 2 main lines. So you have to kind of decide of where you want to go depending upon what booth you're trying to hit to first. So 2 days in a row, I went to Jazzwares. All right. Jazzwares was literally in the middle. So I tried the one way the one day, and I tried the other way the other day. I mean, I was down there within minutes, a couple minutes. And then what they would do is they would say line is capped. Okay, so that the first day they said line is capped, and so you kind of basically, if you've never been to a big con like this where you're trying to get these exclusives, is that you kind of have to walk in circles. It's horrible, and then you get yelled at because you're just standing there, and they're trying to keep the aisleways clear. It's a mess. It really is a mess. Sometimes I think that maybe if they had a few less booths, you have a little more room to walk. But again, then the con is losing money because they can fill the booths. So think of it this way. It's almost like walking in a casino that is old. So think of like, I'm trying to think of an older style casino in Vegas, like maybe like Golden Nugget, even though they've revamped that one a little bit, like Binion's, something like that, where everything just seems really close and there's not a lot of ways to walk. And then we went to the new Resorts World, and it's amazing because it's just so wide open. You don't bump into anybody. It's all spread out. That's kind of what like San Diego Con is. It's all like that old school casino where there's literally nowhere to walk. It's hard. And there's a one main alleyway down the middle, and dude, it's like the worst place to be. So one suggestion is always stay on the edges. But again, then you're going to hit into these different huge lines. Like UCC was crazy. UCC was part of the lottery, and the lottery basically you have points each day, and then you have to assign your points to the different lotteries that are available. So what I was hearing was, and the only reason why I even got the Marvel pack is because a friend who had a ticket got me one because they didn't want it, so he ended up picking it up for me. But he said that he went over there and like he had like a 10 o'clock ticket, I guess a 10 o'clock timestamp or whatever it was called. And he went over like at 9:50. He's like, oh no, 10 o'clock's capped. It's capped. We're not letting anybody else in. He's like, it's not even 10 o'clock. And I have a 10 o'clock one. So after talking to the guy, they let him in or whatever. But like it was a mess. Like you won the lottery, and people kept saying that they weren't even letting him in. Now I guess they ended up fixing this because, for example, let's say you on Thursday you went down there and you had like a 1 o'clock time. I guess if you didn't get in and you still had it on your, because it's all attached to your badge. So I guess they did let these people come in first thing Friday, but then the problem is that everyone Friday was then backed up, and then so on and so forth. And I guess eventually, I don't know what happens if let's say you only had Thursday. Well, then what happens? I'm sure they probably took care of it because you can't just not let these people win. I mean, it's hard enough to win the lottery as it is. Yeah, I've been to Comic-Con since 2016. I've yet to win anything in the lottery. Nothing. Not one time have I won. But I mean, the only time I've won is through the Funko Fanatics message board. That's it. I mean, I've won Funko Booth twice because of that message board. Through the actual lottery and San Diego, I've never won. So UCC was a mess. Jazzwares was a mess. And so the first time I went down to Jazzwares, they just kept saying, "Oh, come back at 11 o'clock." I'm like, dude, it's 9:45. How do you know at 11 o'clock you're going to open this line? Like, it was horrible. They were just mean people. And yeah. The next time, so this was Friday or Saturday. I think it was Saturday. The second time I went down to try to get the Jazzware. And originally, it's funny because originally I thought that's where R2 was, because Jazzwares was next to Gentle Giant. It actually ended up not being, and this was not that hard to get. So, and there's only 2,000 of these. I was kind of shocked. The price on those were expensive though. It was like $80. It's kind of crazy. It's probably why they were there all weekend with them. But anyways, so then Jazzwares was handing out tickets. That's what it is. So Friday Jazzwares was handing out tickets. I did not go down there Friday. Friday was my day to sleep in like 8 o'clock, instead of getting up at 5. But Saturday I decided, okay, they're giving tickets. I'm going to go try it again Saturday, get a ticket, and I'll just come back when it's ready. So Saturday I go down there and I go right up to the booth, and there's like not that many people around. And I'm like, okay, cool, I'm going to get it. And they're like, this is a mess. They're like, oh, you have to go find the tickets. I'm like, what do you mean you have to go find the tickets? He goes, He goes, oh, well, you got to find someone in this t-shirt. And literally it's a white t-shirt and it literally just says Jazzwares. And I think it was red lighting, I think lighting, lettering, whatever. But I'm like, so you have to go find this guy and then you have to ask for a ticket. That's the way they did it. So they said in this huge convention center, they had like a few people walking around, just walking, and you got to find them to get the ticket. What a mess. So I ended up I did like a few circles around the 1/3 of the. It was horrible. It was impossible. So I didn't end up finding them. So it is what it is. Because they were selling, like I said, those little like models of those ships, and then they also had the I think the Squishmallows. That was their big thing over there. But yeah, so Jazzwares was a big F. I thought it was probably the worst booth. Yeah, and UCC was probably second on that. The good booths. Let's talk about the good booths. The good booths were yesterday's. So yesterday's is the pins, and they knocked it out of the park. So because yesterday's is becoming a pretty popular website and company to get these awesome pins, and they make these sweet SDCC pins. And I mean, dude, if you look on eBay, some of them go for like $40-$50 each. You know, I remember one year they released them when there was no Comic-Con during COVID, and it was like a limited number of like, I want to say like 100. They were like over $100 a piece, and it said something like "I miss SDCC," and then it has like a little heart and a little background of the convention center. So they make some pretty good stuff, and like I was explaining earlier, they had Metroid. They had 2 kind of exclusives that were Link's sword and Link's shield, and I know those sold out. They had a different heart exclusive for the Comic-Con each month, or not each month, I'm sorry, each day. So each day you could get a different one. But yesterday's, you went down there and they just had tickets, and one person had 9 o'clock, one person had 10 o'clock, so on and so forth. And boom, you came over, they just handed you the ticket. They said, come back in line at that time. They let you in the line, and yeah, it was awesome. It was run beautifully. One of the best booth experiences this year was yesterday's. So give them a little love. Check them out over on yesterdays.com. They have, like I said, they have some pretty cool pins. So yesterday's was good. I did not mind the box on the run or the fun on the run, whatever. That, as long as you got over there early in the morning, there really was no issue. They had it pretty well controlled. I had no problem getting it. So that part of Funko was good. The Blockbuster Rewind booth, again, I think I went in there on Saturday when they dropped the Proto, the little dog, or the little Proto dog, because they didn't have those the whole week, so that was a miss. But I think on Saturday they finally brought him in, so that line wasn't bad. It was nothing crazy. I heard Mondo was good. Really, just Funko booth was a mess, but it always is. You know, I waited over 2 hours, and I was down there again within minutes, and I had all these people in front of me. One thing I need to learn how to do is get down there early. I don't know where these people come from. You know, I always ask, and people are like, "Oh, well, it's like ADA gets in early." But then I've talked to people who are ADA, and they're like, "We don't get in earlier than you guys do." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know." I'm like, and also here's the thing too with ADA. So if you qualify for that, you line up. I think it's over by the B Hall. The B Hall, all your Funko is. It is like at least a 10-minute walk. So I don't believe that when people say that. I don't know. I know the exhibitors, if they win the lottery on something, I know they can go line up before we can. And this is how, when you're walking around and you see stuff, people are like, "Oh, where'd you get those? How'd you get those exclusives from Funko booth when they were just out this year?" And they're just like quiet about it. Like, well, obviously they won. They went over there and bought them. and now they're just gonna flip them. I don't know. So that was kind of a mess. Funko booth sold out of so much stuff. A lot of the stuff I wanted to try to grab, they were out of it. I mean, I've at this point, I've picked it up either via trade or just buying it, the ones I wanted. So that was, but again, it's Funko. It's 2 hours away in that line. I don't know. There's got to be a better way. I don't know. Some people, honestly, let's say some people are going up there and buying all the pops. Let's say they buy everything. Literally, they'll be stacked on the table, and people are. I mean, I guess I do too because I see everyone else do it. But people are just checking every single pop for any kind of tear, crease, whatever. Trade them back. So I guess when you wait that long, I guess it's up to you to do it if you want. So yeah. Anyways, trying to think what else. So Funko, I'll give it a C. It's mid. It's it's a long wait. It stinks that some of the stuff sold out. Oh, and the one big miss for Funko. So nobody knew this, and this is on preview night. So this is Wednesday. So probably by Thursday, middle of the day, people already knew about this, but no sodas were available at the booth because, again, I was looking for Jessica Rabbit. And I actually had a person behind me who was going to buy me one, and I was going to pay them because I wanted to have 2 of them to try to get the chase, right? So no sodas. Apparently, the sodas were over by the Rewind booth, I guess, is what I heard. I never saw them. When I got into the Rewind booth, I didn't see any sodas. So I don't know. I don't know where the sodas came from or where they were. So, yeah, I know. I know, Blaze. It was horrible. I was so mad. But so again, I would say a C for Funko. Artist Alley was awesome like usual. Some of those lines are just crazy though, for some of those more popular artists. But they always do a nice job. It's just so crowded over there, And I do believe that I've heard other YouTubers and podcasts talk about how they didn't think the show floor was that much busier. Dude, I've been there every year since 16. The show floor was way busier because of the Hall H and Baldwin 20 and the panels were just not great. So I don't know. I don't know why they keep saying this stuff, but I don't know. But I definitely found that the floor was just so crowded. I went on Saturday. I did a lot of my footage for the video that will come out next week. On the con, and it was hard to even get decent footage. I had to keep redoing it because there's so many people in the way, and it's when people see you filming like that, they don't care. There's a few people who will stop and whatever, but for the most part, you kind of just gotta battle it and do the best you can. But yeah, I don't know why. So many people have said that they didn't think the show floor was busy. It was insane, honestly. I heard bait was okay. So usually it's a long wait, but usually bait's pretty good. It's a smaller Funko type thing because that's what people are going there for whatever exclusive there was. I know, I think was it last year? Was it Astro Boy? I think it was Glow in the Dark or something. I think that was the one that came out last year. And I picked that one up, and I was able to get that pretty easily. Just had to wait in line, but nothing crazy. The Lucasfilm area was really cool. They had all the Ahsoka stuff. So on the con video that will drop, I'll probably drop it next Friday. It's really, really cool. I really enjoyed spending time there this year. Usually a lot of times on Lucasfilm, it'll be like, okay, I've seen that. I think last year they had Andor stuff. This year was all Ahsoka, and I'm not a big Andor fan, so I didn't really care that much. But all the Ahsoka, they had all the hilts for the lightsabers, a lot of the costumes. They had a model of Ahsoka's ship, which was really cool. So excited for you guys to see that video. I'm trying to think what else. Restaurants, not crazy. The only time I had to really wait in a restaurant was for breakfast, and it's breakfast. So I think Friday, because Friday's the day we didn't go to the con first thing in the morning. We got up and went to eat. So that was nice. No crazy wait. A couple lunches, a couple dinners. Just make reservations, honestly. If you ever go, make reservations on what is it, Open Table. It's easiest way to do it. What do we got? What else? Offsites. Last year, I did House of the Dragon. Spent like half my day there. We did Dungeons and Dragons. My wife did Severance. Did a couple other smaller ones. No offsites this year. I just wasn't interested in it. There was nothing that like I was like, oh man, I have to go there. I ended up getting the Jurassic Park one, but I only got one ticket. So I just gave it to somebody. I saw him with his son, and they were looking for one. I just gave it to him. I'm like, dude, I'm like, first of all, it was like a long walk from the con, and I'm like, dude, all I do is walk. So I just didn't want to walk down there. Honestly, I just didn't want to do it, and no one else was going with me. And I'm like, well, how long is the line? I don't want to stand there for 2 hours by myself. So I just gave it up, and I heard it wasn't even that great. Just some photo ops, so whatever. Yeah, but all the other ones, like Good Omens, I heard was pretty good. I've never watched the show, so I just didn't care. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones that they had. I know a couple friends went to like the Futurama one, and I know they said that was really cool. There was a Simpsons one. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really have any information on how those were run. Again, typically they're run pretty well. It's just a long wait. And the thing you got to remember what all sites are, if you don't have a Comic-Con ticket, it doesn't matter. You can still go to the offsites. And that's why some of them are so long. And I guess the one bad thing that happened though was I guess they are letting people in without a reservation, because a lot of the offsites did have reservations. And I guess a lot of them weren't even checking. So people that without reservations were, they're just making the lines longer. So, but yeah, so the offsites, as far as I know, they were fine. I didn't do any this year. This is like the first year I didn't do any of those either. I was a lot on the con floor this year. And I think part of it is because it was hard to walk. So you couldn't like knock everything out you wanted to in one day unless you just wanted to battle the crowds. And it's to a point where like when you're just walking and then people are just, in it, people are taking pictures and people are taking video. And if they're not stepping to the side, it's like you're standing behind them. It's brutal, man. It's brutal. Yeah, dude, you should definitely try to get up there. We'll talk about that here toward the end of the stream. I'll tell you a couple hints on that. Hey, how you doing, Michelle? What's up, Duck? Let's see. What is the best company to buy Comic-Con? Yeah, we'll go through that here in a minute. Very briefly, I'm going to drop a video on Tuesday on Funko Fun Days. It's not really. It's just the experience. I took a lot of video there and I just edited it down. It's about 13 minutes long. A couple clips with Mike Becker and Corey Feldman was there, and just some of the stuff that we did. So that'll drop on Tuesday. But basically, Fun Days was fun. I liked it. It was my first one ever. If you haven't heard, the food was terrible. I mean, the food was awful. They have to do better. Like, I'm sure you guys have seen pictures of the sandwich and stuff. It was horrible. It reminds me of going to like a workshop or something like that. And that's pretty much what the lunch would be, yeah. And they give you one drink ticket, the drinks are like $7-8 each. So I think I ended up using my drink ticket. And I think I bought one other and that was it. So it gets expensive, but honestly, like, it's funny. There's so much going on the stage that you don't even really think about having a couple of drinks. Like, it's funny. It was a quick night. I mean, we got in there. Okay. So I lined up with my group. So my group got there early. We lined up around, I think I got in line at 3 p.m. So let's see. They started letting people in around 5:15. We didn't get into probably 5:30-ish, 40-ish, somewhere in that range. It took us about 40 minutes to walk up there. So we were 40 minutes behind. And it's funny, when we lined up, we didn't think we were that far back. Like, we were far back, but like we didn't think there was more than like a couple hundred people in front of us. But there was clearly way more than that. And again, when they let you hold spots for people, so obviously everyone did what we did. We had a group of like 20. So if everyone does that makes it a lot longer. But so the food was not good. The event itself was good. My biggest complaint was that, okay, so you'll kind of see this in the video, but so it's the arena, the outdoor arena or venue. It's long, right? So you got the stage like way up here, and then it's elongated this way. So what they did is they put, if I remember correctly, it was the bears. They kind of like were all near the stage, and it was like all the bears were close. And then the other side were the lumberjacks. Behind all those tables, like so halfway, then we had wolves and we had eagles. So like, I don't know. I don't know how else they could have done it, because they wanted to keep them in your groups. But man, like, so we really wanted okay. So going in, we figured that we were going to get a flock mascot. So I really wanted the flock wolf. So we must have been one of the last groups that picked wolves, because we literally were in the last table, the back table. There's no one behind us. So we are as far away from that stage as you could see. You'll kind of see it in the video. I walk up and down the middle path there to try to get closer on some of the video, but like, we are literally the last table. And then after us, I think there was 2 tables left, which is about another 16 to 20 people. And then wolves were gone. So, I mean, I guess the better choice would have been probably to take lumberjacks, and we probably would have been way closer. But if you know what happened there, when you'll see it in the video, the wolves did win the 850 piece Freddy's Wolverine. So it ended up being fine, because we ended up getting what I think was the best win of the evening. As far as something that was not in the box, because those were just, it was a win. So that part was cool. Yeah, I mean, overall, I would say it's like a C+, B-. The food was terrible. We were really far from the stage. A couple of the giveaways were a little bit cheesy, like the Ranger Freddy. I mean, it was fine. It is what it is. We figured we would get something, but they did give up. They did give up quite a bit stuff. Yeah, Duck. I had a buddy that wanted the dude as well. So I told them when I was there, I said, yeah, I want the dude. Dude, they gave me Thor instead, because they probably just looked at it and they had the long beard. So they had plenty of them. Yeah. So no, I didn't even get it. And because they gave me Thor instead. I told my other buddy that. He's like, that's ridiculous. I'm like, yeah, I was thinking about going back up there the next day, but dude, they're not going to care. They don't care. Like, people will come back up there with like a little tear or a crease, and they're like, you have to look at it before you leave. All sales final. They wouldn't do anything for anybody. So whatever, it is what it is. But I think you can get the dude pretty cheap. I don't think it's that expensive if you want the con sticker. But all right, so we got a few minutes left. So all right, so let's talk about 2024. All right, so tickets. So okay, so if you have a ticket for Comic-Con this year, so if you went, you will be part of returning registration. So typically they say there's about 130,000 people that attend. Okay. Returning registration will sell about 45% of those tickets. about 45. Like it's between 45 and 50. I know it's for sure not exactly 50%, but I would say it's around 45. So basically, if you went, you have almost a 50-50 shot at getting the tickets again. Now, granted, some people are not going to go again, so all those that opens up for more people. But basically, that sale typically will go up sometime in October, November. Okay, usually November, beginning of November. So here's some hints. First off, watch my live because I'll be live when those go up. Okay, it's usually a Saturday. And the best thing I can offer is have as many devices as you can with as many browsers as you can. You can't open up tabs. That's where people fail at this. You don't open up tabs. So, for example, on my MacBook, I have Safari. I'm gonna look right now, make sure I don't miss any. I have Safari, I have Firefox, I have Chrome, and there was another one I downloaded too, which I've since deleted. So I did download another browser. So I had 4 on my Chrome on my MacBook. Then my neighbor came over, and my wife has a MacBook as well. So that's 12 out of those 3 right there, right? There's 3 of us here. That's 12. That's 12 different browsers we have open. Then I have 2 on my phone. My wife did 2 on her phone. So total, we had 16 browsers on throughout 5 different devices. And basically, as long as the at the bottom, like when you scroll down, it says that it's waiting. As long as the number is different, there's like an ID number or something. I can't remember the name of the number, but it's like an ID number. As long as that is different and that doesn't repeat on any of your devices, you're good. So basically, open up as many of those as you can. And basically, there's like a little running guy, and it'll keep running. Or actually, I think it is the running guy in this. I'm trying to think. I know New York Comic Con for sure is a running guy. I'm pretty sure that SDCC does the same thing. Now I can't remember. Maybe it isn't the running guy for SDCC. Anyways, but yeah, I mean, it's basically just it's luck. But again, more browsers you have open, and until they fix that, that's how I've gotten in the last couple of years. So that's probably the best advice. Now, again, if you did not go last year, you can't do that. Okay, but your good old friend Headless could probably help you because I helped about 4 different people get them last time. So if this is something you're seriously interested in, I just asked that day that you hit me up on Instagram. I'll tell you what information you need to give me. And yeah, I mean, I have no problem trying to help people get them because the more people that can go, especially people who have never experienced it, that want to experience it, it's fun. And, I hung out with a bunch of people, a bunch of subscribers and a couple of patrons and everything over the weekend there. It was a lot of fun. So after returning, then there is something called open. An open registration. Now I'm trying to think. If I'm returning, can I get someone tickets? Now I remember, and I have to go back and watch my own live. Because I'm trying to think if I can do that. If I'm returning, can I get someone tickets who did not go last year? Now I'm thinking to myself, I don't think you can. But I could have swore I got Donald his. I gotta go back and watch my live, honestly. I'll have to make a little video about that as it gets closer. It's not now I can't remember. But anyways, then there's open registration. That is open to everybody. So a couple of things that you need to know about open registration. You need to make sure you have an ID. So you go to just go to San Diego Comic-Con.com and it'll pop up. It'll come up. You got to make sure you have a member ID and all that stuff, and you got to make sure you have there's different rules. It kind of tells you have your address and all that kind of stuff, and then there's a couple things you have to subscribe to. I want to say it's like information or not information. What's the word they use? I can go pull it up. Yeah, it's member ID. Here, I can actually show you guys this. So there's the member ID, and then my communication settings. So marketing emails. You have to register for the marketing emails. So that's the one thing you have to do, because that way they can. I'll be honest with you. You don't really get a whole lot of stuff, but that's how you get notified. My God, my nose. You get notified of everything you need to know, how to get the tickets and everything like that. So sign up for a member ID. That's like the number one thing you got to do. And then, like I said, open registration is usually in December, January, right in there. And it's same thing. Open up as many browsers as you can and see what happens. But that's the best advice I can give. But stay tuned to the channel. I will make videos as we get closer to that. And like I said, if you're serious about trying to want to go next year, just touch base with me during the live, and I'll see what I can do. Yeah. And then the hotel thing usually happens in March or April. It's called Hotel Apocalypse. That's how you try to get a hotel. Usually they're discounted because some hotels are upwards of $700-800 a night if you don't book through them. If you book through Comic-Con, you can usually get between $270 and $300. It's still expensive, but it's better than $700. And I had a couple friends. They stayed like 15 minutes away. It would take them 45 minutes to get there with an Uber, because the traffic's crazy. Everyone's doing the same thing. So for me, it's worth staying downtown. It's a better experience. To me, it's a better experience. But obviously, if you can't afford that, then there's other options. You can stay in Mission Bay, which is about a half an hour away, and there's actual free buses that take you down. But just know that it's going to take you between 30 and 40 minutes to get down there. And then if you buy stuff and you don't want to carry around the whole day, then you got to take it back to your hotel through the bus, and then take your bus back if you want to hang out downtown. So again, you're saving maybe $100-150 a night. But you got to figure out, is that $300-400 you're saving on your trip worth all the time on the bus back and forth? So it kind of depends what you're looking for. But I don't know. I think that's about it, guys. I don't know. If anyone have any questions or anything? I know I've been kind of rambling here for an hour. I don't know. I mean, I hope I gave you guys some good insight. It is a really, really good time. It is fun. The one thing I am disappointed in myself I didn't go to was the Voodoo Ranger pirate ship. We went last year. It was awesome. It's crazy how sometimes things just work out where I just didn't have time to get over there. I did get to meet Kevin Smith. I got his autograph, got a photo with him. That was cool. And I feel like that was like a 2.5 hour thing. And I feel like that kind of took place of the Voodoo Ranger boat for me, because everything is time consuming. It really is. So, but, yeah, Charles, I'm telling you, man, like, I know we've talked. I think starting with ICCC, I think you're going to love it. It's fun. It's a lot smaller, less people, but you have a chance to get those autographs where SDCC sometimes doesn't allow you to get many autographs, because you have to either win a lottery or you literally have to get in line at like 4 a.m. Like when I met Bruce Campbell last year, he's Ash in the Evil Dead movies. I mean, dude, I got in line at 4 a.m. and it's still barely got it. It gets crazy. Yeah. But yeah, it kind of depends what you want in a con, because all cons are different. Like your local cons are going to have your celebrities you can go pay for an autograph. They're going to have some vendors. You know, they'll have stuff. But like ICCC, a lot of vintage. You're not going to find that booth that's just nothing but Funko Pops. You're going to find harder to find items, and you're going to find easy stuff too. Like there's still stuff that's like $8 to $10 that just, New York Comic Con is like your local con, just on steroids, because you have a ton of panels. You're going to have triple the amount of autographs available. You're going to have your exclusive. So it's kind of like SDCC and a local con all together. Where SDCC, they don't pay actors to come in. Like New York Comic Con, for example, they will pay the actors to come in to do autographs. SDCC does not do that. SDCC does not pay anyone to be there. So, I mean, they basically are a nonprofit. And, the other thing you can do is they on eBay, they do sell their tickets, but all that money goes toward their Comic-Con museum. So they can update it once a year and then bring in new stuff. So SDCC is definitely a different type of con. It's definitely different. So, all right, guys, if there's no other questions, I'm going to get on out of here. So Tuesday, watch out for that Funko Fun Days video. Friday will be my final con video, and that'll kind of be the whole show floor, a little bit of outside stuff, some cosplay, all that kind of good stuff. And then Monday and Thursday, we're still dropping those Rebels videos until we get up to Ahsoka. We're about, 17 days away, I think it is. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. We'll be doing a Kahoot on, I think it's Sunday the 20th. So that we'll be talking about Ahsoka. We'll be doing a Kahoot on Rebels. Have a couple things for giveaways. And yeah, I think that's about it. Next Sunday, not sure what we're going to be doing yet. I will think of something to talk about. And you've seen it scrolling on the bottom. Channel memberships are now available on the channel. So basically, it's kind of the same thing as the Padawan tier on my Patreon. And because you're not on Patreon, you still get invited to the Patreon Hangouts, which are bi-monthly. And the next one will be in September. We did one back in June, or actually I think it was like beginning of July. It was fun. We kind of hung out for like an hour. So hopefully we can get some more people to show up for that. And yeah, so Patreon, channel membership, and take a look, see if it's something that you're interested in. And I do appreciate everybody being here tonight. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good night. We'll see you in the next video. And like always, don't forget, keep those heads on. I'll see you guys.